everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about an evil underscore in Panto, and as you can hear, I've got a huge MainStage patch here with lots of sounds that would really help you to create that sinister kind of vibe that you need. So let's have a look at the MainStage patch. We've got an awful lot going on. I've got harp and strings and a synth and a choir, brass, organ. There's an electric guitar in there as well, a few different types of brass too. The organ I think is really important. That really gives us this sort of gothic kind of sound, sort of an old-fashioned kind of horror sound that really gets the right vibe going. And you may have noticed at the beginning I've also got a timpani roll, which is really useful for just getting it going. There it is. Okay, so this I think is one of the most fun things that we have to do in Panto, because you're really serving the melodrama of the scene and really getting the audience going. So this is the point where the whole audience will be booing at the baddie and having a good time doing that. And I think the music can really serve that and really help to direct the audience in what's happening in the scene. So these kind of scenes quite often have a similar kind of structure in that they start off with the baddie entering the stage. So you need a nice, big, bold statement so the audience know, uh-oh, here comes the baddie. So I like a nice, powerful, octave, empty kind of sound at the beginning. And then go into the chords. So I think that can be quite a bold statement at the beginning. And then you go into the chords, and of course the chords are going to be minor. It's all got to be minor. And you may have noticed in the middle there, in my patch here, I've got tremolo strings. Nothing says evil more than some tremolo strings. That's I think that works really well. You can hear it sitting nicely with the organ. And so a chord sequence like that was F minor, by the way, followed by D minor. A chord sequence like that can really just get the atmosphere going, supporting the scene underneath. You don't want it to be too busy. What you can do though, if you're mixing this with a piano, so if you've got a piano there like I have here, you could bring the strings down, put them into the background a little bit more, and then start to arpeggiate those chords. That works quite nicely, and you can see I've added an extra little bit of spice to my minor chords. If we take the F minor chord, F, A flat and C, why not add the major seventh as well for that extra bit of spice? Sounds quite melodramatic and helps to step up to that F minor, that D minor, sorry, chord there as well. So that's probably the middle part of the scene where you're keeping those chords going, keeping the atmosphere going, maybe adding some arpeggios as the baddie is getting more and more into what's going on. At this point they're probably explaining to the audience about what they're going to do, about how they're going to defeat the good guy in the story, something like that. And these scenes will naturally always build to a crescendo, and this is where you can really support that too. So a chromatic rising chord sequence, like you heard me play at the beginning, works really well for this as you're coming up to the high point of the scene. So what I played earlier was actually they were diminished chords, so starting on C, a sound that's been used in melodrama forever, and I'm just rising chromatically as we're reaching the high point of the scene, or the conclusion of the scene usually. And then maybe that beginning motif again to get the baddie off the stage. Or perhaps you want something even bigger at the conclusion of the scene, something a little broader. Here's something that I did in a show a couple of years ago. Something like that. You'll notice that I'm using my mod wheel here to control the volume, and dynamics are a really important part of how you're feeling your way through this scene. You don't want it just to be one huge wall of sound. Have some dynamic variations so that as the scene is building to the climax, you can really help to bring that out by pushing up the fader, really getting the orchestra, as it were, the virtual orchestra, to swell underneath the baddie's last couple of lines, and that's the bit where the audience will be going boo, 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 boo. Anyway, I hope you found some of this useful and maybe interesting, and it's given you a little bit more of an insight into how we provide live music for pantomime and live theatre. Thanks for stopping by, very much appreciated. If you could do all the usual kind of YouTube stuff, I'd really appreciate it. If you could like the video and maybe subscribe to the channel, that would be great. And let me know how you're getting on. If you're using my MainStage patch, do let me know how you've utilised it, the chords that you've used, maybe things that I can improve on the patch in the future. Anyway, thanks for your company today. Much appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye.